The Endurance E-Racing World Championship Le Mans 24 Hours is brought to you by ESR Esports Network, Fleet Gaming, SimLab, Husingfeld, Simplexity, Acetech, and AMD Ryzen Radio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final 2 hours of the 2020 GTR 24H Endurance E-Racing World Championship here from the Circuit de la Sarthe, Le Mans in northern France. I am Max Skinner, alongside me is Yousuf. Well, we've got 2 hours left of this race, 2 hours and 1 minute to be exact. And everyone's still pretty gapped out. There's a couple of fights that are brewing, but it's going to be pretty much a battle of fuel now, I think.
Yeah, it really will be, and we can also see a bit of a battle brewing for second place as well in the GTE class, because Michael Sedlacek has just dived into the pits and he's come out about 4 seconds behind Jose Berenguer. So depending on how many stops are left, it might just be one stop for each of the GTE cars, depending how long Jose Berenguer can go for, because if he can make it for another 30 minutes, then he can probably do 1.5 hours on a final stint.
No, you can't. There is no way you can do an hour and a half on a tank of fuel, not even in a GT car.
Okay.
You are looking at doing about an hour and 10 minutes at maximum. So everyone that comes in now is good to make it on one more stop, irrespective of their fuel. Oh, obviously irrespective, you know exactly when they come in. So, therefore, it's the LMP2s that you have to watch out for, because they're going to be looking at another 2 stops at least, depending on how well they manage to do their fuel saving, but I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference.
And now I'm just starting to think, because you've got in your LMP2 class 1 move really making inroads. How many points do they need to actually jump ahead of Team Rookie Monsters? Probably too many.
Oh god, 56. They need to win. Actually, no, they can't jump ahead of Rookie Monsters unless, because they didn't get
Not
pole.
56, it's 36.
36, my brain is failing. 36, which means they would need...
I mean, they essentially
need to win. No, they'd need to win.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get the qualifying points, they wouldn't be able to get those extra 2 points.
Yeah. Or they need to come second, and Team Rookie Monsters need to DNF. Which is looking unlikely in the sense that I don't think the number 11 One Move Esports will be able to get that P2, and maybe they're going to be kicking themselves for that Nürburgring DNF, where they could have had maybe an extra 25 points and now be finding themselves in a position where they could win the championship. Meanwhile, in the GT3 class, it is Ricardo Costa who leads from the Nightmare team, and he pretty much has an entire pit stop advantage over the 777 car. 1 minute 35.6, which is pretty much dead on a pit stop in the GT class.
Incident at a second.
And that's the 46 DISSR. I've got that car's not long been out of the pit lane.
How has he got back out of the pit lane? Because they haven't been stationary in the pit lane for 3 laps after getting that new car, having reset to the pit.
They get the laps added on manually by the race directors when they rejoin.
That would make sense.
Yes, because you can get because you do a simple thing called the /change laps -3 to the driver, and then it basically takes 3 laps.
So what happens if it happens on like lap 2? Used to Bin-Suhayl, everyone, creating issues and scenarios that people would rather discuss.
They forgot to put wets on, apparently.
I can't really blame them, because they would have jumped in and just thought that the car had the same settings as before and just forgot. Either way, that is really bad news for the LMP2 team. They will drop further down the order now. I wonder how slicks are handling in the wets.
They don't. That's the simple answer, is they don't.
I have a fair amount of experience with slicks in the wets, because pretty much every single Club 100 karting series in the UK, they don't put wets on the karts. but obviously that is a completely different beast to having quite a
GT3
few
car.
hundred HP on slick tyres in the wet.
Well, yeah, with a go-kart you can sort of manually drift it around without too much problem, just due to the way that the axles and everything are. Whereas in a GT3 car, you got a bit more power and a bit more weight of inertia.
Just a tad more power. I
Just
feel.
a tad.
Ever so slight more power. Like, it's like you've got an extra like mouse pushing it along. Right. What else is going on? Michael Sedlacek is dropping back, I think, from Jose Berenguer, despite having just made his pit stop. So clearly that extra fuel is more of an issue than the fresher tyres. That is, of course, if he did put fresher tyres on the car, because he might be double stinting. I don't really know how long the wet tyres last. And you can see with that weather forecast, there shouldn't be any rain now, because we have got to the end of the rain. So I am looking through the windscreen of Ricardo Costa, as are you guys, and I'm not seeing any droplets of rain really dropping onto the car. There's a little bit and it's spitting, but the track should now be drying, and you can see that little bit of a dry line forming through the Porsche curves as Ricardo Costa gets a little bit sideways.
Meanwhile, John Monroe loops the car coming out of the Dunlop S's and towards Tetra Rouge. I'm curious as to how he managed to loop it there.
I think we're also starting to see the effect where it's raining on one part of the circuit and not really on another. And here, closer to the start-finish part of the circuit, the rain is definitely coming down on the northern part of the Le Mans track.
I've just been told that the 46 have named their car now the slightly slower car after your comments, which apparently they love.
Wait, the slightly slower car?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yes, it's just a slightly, yeah.
This is the community we have, and this is what I love about this community, is we can all have a good laugh about it, and no one takes anything to heart. It's always a good bit of fun. And no matter how much is on the line, especially in terms of prizes, it's even on their website. No, I've got to look at this.
See this.
Give me a minute.
Slightly slower 46.
Give me a
DSR
minute.
car.
Give me a minute. 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 Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Sorry, we are actually like legitimately looking at their website right now.
I will just update people what's happening in the GT3 class. The Nightmare car is not in the pits, but has just gone 4 seconds slower than Ricardo Costa.
Where have they put it? I can't find where they put it now.
Kill the races. Well, while Alex frantically searches for...
I want to find this. I'm so curious.
Guys, just link it to him. Use a hashtag GTR248. Something like that. Who knows?
Or DM me on Discord. You can find me at the top of the...
Don't DM him on Discord. Use Twitter. Right, how are our gaps looking? Michael Sedlacek still about 8 seconds behind Jose Berenguer. DGTL 22 seconds behind Pierre B cars. And they are gaining by about 2 seconds a lap. And then, of course, you do have a Nightmare trying to close that gap to Ricardo Costa, but it is staying relatively similar. 1 minute 38. I could change cameras, I could. But I'm really just enjoying riding with Ricardo Costa, to be honest.
Oh, I'm like, someone please send me the link. I'm so curious about if they actually have done.
So now I'm not looking at Ricardo Costa, sad face. Who do I want to look at? We want to look at Michael Sedlacek, who is in the number 74 car. Right, Dueces Motorsport car, and that is, we're looking for the white car with the German stripes. Where are you, white Porsche with German stripes? No, that's a Corvette. That's a safety car. I'm just scrolling through the entire field right now, searching
Who are you
Mr.
looking
Porsche.
for?
Found him. There we go. Michael Sedlacek in the Dueces car, Dueces Motorsport Club.
As they get it right, otherwise Nick will have you. Yeah, Nick, you need to send this link to me. I'm so curious.
Also, I just want to point out, if you take a look at the Dueces Motorsport Club car, right? What's the word in the name? Club. Why do they have a spade on the side of their car? That's not a club. It should be a club, not a spade.
Oh no, ask Nick Newcomb, Adam Baldwin, etc. It's their car.
Nick Newcomb, Adam Baldwin. Why is there a spade on the side of your car?
Thank you, Nick. Also, yeah, why is there a spade on the side of the car and not a club? That actually, I didn't realise that until you mentioned it to me. So I wasn't actually sighing it, I was sighing at that. I was like, oh, crap, why?
So, yeah. I mean, maybe this is a secondary edition of.
Are we also allowed to pull this up on stream? Actually, like if we get the picture from what they're like from
a
Simlab.
screenshot of it.
That's what I'm thinking. Are we actually allowed to pull in? Ah, one car has spade, the car 2 has club. But obviously, they don't have a second car here at this race. So they have one car. So that car in particular is going to have the spade because it's the main car. But if they have a second car, the other one has a club.
Surely the main car should be the club.
I don't blame Nick and blame Dueces. Like,
No, we're just having a discussion. I'm not blaming you for it.
Blame Dueces. Like, I've got no ways that I can say anything about this.
Anyway, Michael Sedlacek is at 6.9 seconds behind Jose Berengawa and went 1/10 quicker than Jose the last time round. In the GT3 class, Ricardo Costa still running quicker than the 777 Nightmare car. Over a second faster last lap, and I reckon when he comes in the pits, he's going to be ahead of that 777 Nightmare car. And don't forget, with pitting later, he's not going to have to put as much fuel in either.
Oh no, and there is, oh god, there's a load of yellow flags going on at the moment. What the hell is going on here?
Yellow flag in Sector 3. That's Dylan Tarbotton in the 337 car. So, what has good old
only
Dylan
going
done this
from
time?
bad to worse. He's actually stopped before the pit entry. This is curious indeed.
Oh no, he's off again, and he will get into the pits. Good job, Dylan.
Potentially waiting for a teammate to get into the server. I did hear that there was a max clients issue, so probably was waiting for someone to be kicked out the server before coming into the pit lane.
Is he still on slick tyres right now?
No, that was the other. That was the 36.
Oh, okay,
Sorry,
right.
the 46. The DIS.
Yep, okay.
Meanwhile,
maybe Team Rookie Monsters can follow DIS's example and name their 37 car the slightly unlucky car.
Had to kick. They had to kick their team boss out of the server. I mean, team boss for a driver, perfectly fine by me.
It's because Simon still hasn't invited me to the really cool sim rig.
Thank you so much, Nick. Oh, Nick says, let's have a look at this other bit. DIS, it's not alright, here we go. I'll show this to you.
Alright, Michael Sedlacek still gaining time on Jose Berengawa. The gap is now pretty much 6 seconds on the dot. DGTL still 22 seconds behind PRB cars. And those are the gaps, really. Nightmare now 1 minute 43 behind Ricardo Costa, having lost 3 seconds on that last lap. 1.5 hours remaining here at Le Mans for the final round of the Endurance.
Oh, is it the Nürburgring 12 House of Nürburgring? Oh, I've got to admit, I love these guys.
I still haven't had a chance to interview Yannick Gotthardsen and Andy Kurtzen.
Get Yannick and Andy here at the end of the race, and then you can sit there and do the interviews, and then you can sign off if you want to. Whilst I go and fill out forms and make sure we have stuff ready for when we get back in the UK.
Yes. Don't forget my sick bag for the turbulence in the aeroplane.
That'll be in the back of the
No.
right.
Honestly though, the trip back to England is so tough. The jet lag that you get, it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, well, at least we can just
Alex is like not even listening to me right now.
No, I've sort of started just to zone out the noise coming from like this side of the commentary desk.
But I'm on the side where the racetrack's on, really.
As I said, I've been zoning out the noise coming from that side of the commentary desk.
Right. We have seen Jose Berengawa come into the pits. So Michael Sedlacek will regain second place in the GTE class. We are assuming one more stop for every GTE driver right now.
Just a case of if they short fill the car for this stint, or if they short fill the car for the final stint, because they won't need maximum fuel for one of these two stints to get that car to its final stop and or the end.
Also, Ricardo Costa still pulling away from the 777 Nightmare car. I think they've pulled it off. I think they have managed to get the overcut to work. And Monaco Racing will, after their stop, still be in the lead of the GT3 class. So good stuff from Ricardo Costa and everyone else in Monaco Racing, who have pulled off a fantastic comeback drive to get back into the lead. You know what I could do with Alex?
What?
Some breakfast.
I would say, you have not eaten at all this morning, have you?
No.
Go and get yourself some food. Take a break, go and get yourself some food.
I've got 1.5 hours. I'm going to make it to the end. And then I shall stuff my face with
Take some time out.
milky cereal.
Take some time out. I'll take the next half hour if I need to, or until you are ready. Take your time.
I don't trust leaving the stream to you alone.
I mean, I was doing the stream earlier.
Yeah, with you and Oshin.
No, I was actually doing the cameras.
How are you?
Yes.
Oh.
And everything was fine.
How was it? Except for my timing, which broke. And my screen that broke.
But yeah, because I wasn't here, I was over there.
I have no proof of this.
Peter can agree. Peter can tell you.
No, okay. How do I know that you and Peter aren't conspiring?
Because of all the people that I'm going to conspire with, I doubt it's him.
What's wrong with Peter?
As I said, of all the people I'd be conspiring with in that regard, it wouldn't be him.
Maybe it was just a case of you didn't have anyone else to conspire with, you conspiring person. Right. What is going on? What is going on track? What is going on Alex's Discord or whatever it is?
Messaging from our boss, Nick Nuken.
There aren't really any gaps that are closing out, with the exception of those two that we have been discussing. Actually, Fabio Liuzzi.
Oh, there's an incident under review, the 199 and the 17. So that is
The 199
ID
and the
Sim
17.
Sport car and the Dueces eSports car.
Yes. So the 17 of Pinson's Drillers in the LMP2 class.
Even Nick agrees with me here. You look at something, it breaks. I'm surprised this hasn't actually imploded yet.
Well, tell Nick.
We have a decision. No further action already on that. That was a very quick.
Just tell Nick that I've got to deliver stuff to him, so he better hope that I don't look at it.
That's a fair point, actually. That's a very, very fair point.
Well, stare at it with all my might.
Just have it on the dashboard when you're driving, just looking at it all the time. It's like, you will break, you will break, you will break.
Well, I think then it might just break for another reason.
I know, and he better not. Oh, Nick.
When I give it to him, I'm just gonna have like my eyes closed and like, here's this thing, and like end up handing him a banana.
Leave it in a bag. I don't think that's gonna help, Nick.
The see-through bag?
Yeah, maybe. Also, Thomas Hinds is also back in the 4th place Scuderia Brasilia hypercar. I haven't seen Mark White get in that car since yesterday.
Also,
why is Mark White doing like no work at in that team? He did like what, a couple of stints, and then he handed it over to David Yuan, and ever since then it's been David and Hinsey that have been driving that car.
I would not know. You'd have to ask Mark White on that. I think maybe he's a little bit fed up. I don't know. See, this is the thing that Nick doesn't realise. I don't need to go on the M1. I go on the A1. Boy.
But you'll fall off the A1. Same difference.
But as you admitted yourself, there's a difference.
Apparently it's Mark's internet. Understandable. Have a day.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Marco Antonio Rodriguez comes in for the Satellite Racing crew. They will have at least 2 more stops to do, unless they can really extend this stint out.
We're also going to be having a move up for 6th place in the GT3 class soon, because Fabio Liuzzi has been catching up by 10 seconds plus per lap on the Teleferiningen car, and he's now just 1 minute 12 behind, and I have a feeling that that pace differential will continue to occur.
I mean, the Teleferiningen car did just have a pit stop because it did a 6-minute lap.
True, but it shouldn't be 10 seconds plus over a lap when you're pitting in, I don't think. It should be like 4 seconds or something, 4 or 5 seconds slower.
What, when Fabio Luzzi hasn't pitted?
Yeah, I mean, take a look at the LMP2 guys that are 4:04 on this in-lap. And the time of Tom Lambert's is a 3:59.
Different cars.
No, they're both LMP2s.
Again, different cars, because LMP2 and GT3 is completely different.
Okay.
Basically, you're comparing apples and oranges here.
Yeah, but it's an in-lap, so we're talking about the difference of an in-lap, of how much slower you go coming in the pits versus just going through the 4 chicanes. So while it'll be different, it won't be much more than like a second difference.
Because that is actually coming out of the pitch, Yousuf.
No, but I was talking about like the 10, 12 seconds that was gained on his in-lap, the lap before. Anyway, Ricardo Costa is now almost 2 minutes ahead of the Nightmare car. He has this pretty much in the bag, unless there are any incidents that will occur. And of course, with 1.5 hours remaining, I almost said 1.5 minutes remaining, but with 1.5 hours remaining, there is still plenty of time for stuff to happen and for spice to be added to the mix. The rainfall is still at 3 millimeters per hour. Track temperature 90 degrees? No, 29 degrees Celsius. That rainfall has not changed in the last hour or so. It's still dropping pretty hard. Well, we did promise rain. We have most certainly got rain, and it has plagued the circuit for pretty much half of the race.
I wouldn't say it's plagued the circuit, I'd say it's improved the circuit of racing.
Really? Does rain improve a circuit? I'd like to think it plagues a circuit, like you're removing the grip, you're plaguing it of grip.
Really, you can have a lot more fun actually driving in the wet. A lot of drivers actually enjoy driving in the wet more, because that requires more car control and a lot more.
Not if you're leading a race, it does. Not if you don't want to be making mistakes in an endurance race, you don't prefer the rain.
I mean, well, don't make mistakes, forehead.
True, don't make mistakes.
Although, in the case of me, you can't make mistakes if you don't race.
Yeah, true. I mean, I was wondering why you weren't racing with your team, but
well, I mean, I would never have raced anyway because I was planning to come out here to commentate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have hopped in a GT3 car or a GT.
We could have pulled out some rig for you. Interviewed you in the middle of driving.
I did actually say to John actually during the night, I said I wish I actually had entered into a team and actually just brought a rig, well, borrowed a rig or something.
Yeah. Well, maybe next time.
Maybe
when we're at the land, then you can multitask.
Yeah, I probably would have. Probably enter a GT3 or GTE team or something.
Would you hire me for one of your teams?
I would like to finish.
You haven't even seen me drive.
Exactly, I'd like to finish.
I'm quick.
What, crashing into a barrier?
No, crashing into a tree, yes. Crashing into a barrier, no.
So you'd be useless at Le Mans then?
Yeah, because there aren't any trees that I can hit. I mean,
you'd be useless at Le Mans because it's all trees.
Yeah, let's be honest, if I hit a tree at Le Mans, that means I'm not
also,
past
the
the
337 has had an issue once again. It's getting even worse for that car. I've just seen him go off. He was very slow coming out of the second wall of the chicane. That car is just... it's a debacle for that car. Oh, Nick's even going to film you when you're being tested on his rig.
Sure you can, I'm quick. I'm not, Michi Hoya level or a certain Ibrahim Khan level, but I like to say I'm fairly fast. Top 100 F1 eSports time trials, that's some tracks.
Sorry, yeah. Nick Newcomb expresses my thoughts. Yeah, right.
Right, and Nick wonders why I was surprised when he started going quickly around the track. Well, actually, to be honest, it wasn't really quickly.
I say Nick has been racing for since God, how many years has he been racing for?
And I've been racing for 15 years as well.
Peter, stop slating my camera changing.
It is terrible, isn't it, guys?
Oh, wait, no, sorry. I'm not changing cameras, but he's saying, does Yousuf ever change camera? Because I don't change it too often.
I don't have control over timing. I can't switch my cameras properly.
Well, yeah, but you can still use these two buttons.
Yeah, and it takes 5 hours to find the car that I want, so I'm just leaving it on a car of interest. You know what? Let's find the Nightmare car. Where are you, Nightmare? And I know it's going to be an absolute nightmare to find them. That is the
Sorry,
dream team.
I swapped to the 46. Sorry, that was me.
Miles is one position back. Thomas is one position.
Yes, I know that, Peter.
So if you know the standings, you can absolutely, before you start pressing even the key, you know how many times to press.
But that involves counting.
And people wonder why I...
How did Archie do it that long without any effort at all?
I know, it's amazing really, isn't it?
I mean, Peter, I like to think once I've been introduced to the quality system that you set up, then going back to the basics is just really difficult.
Anyway, Mohammedan is just gotten into that number 23 One Akko Taco Time car, and he's going to be until the end of the race.
Borja Milan has made his pit stop and he's come out 32 seconds ahead of the Nightmare car.
Yep, they've won.
Could you not commentate a custom, please?
Meanwhile, third place in LMP2. Third place in LMP2 has got problems. Marco Stanzi is in the barrier at Tetra Rouge with no rear wing. This is going to be an absolute heartbreak for the DriveGameSeat racing team because it's going to promote their racing team up into the podium. Those guys are definitely not on the pit limiter.
No, they're not. They're trying to get back as quickly. Oh, he needs to put that pit limiter
Race
on.
director needs to get on the radio to tell him onto the limiter. Oh, he nearly actually sideswipes into the side of the Musto GT car.
Car 3-3. Car 3-3, engage pit limiter.
And those are the words that you don't want to hear.
Now.
And he has engaged the
He's
pit
on
limiter.
the limiter. You can hear the engine revving down. He'll be on the limiter now. That is the DriveGameSeat 33. And that's 3 cars flying past. But that is going to put Cliff van der Ven onto the podium for the Fair Racing team, and they will not lose that. They have a 3-lap lead to the next car back after the Marco Slanzi car. So this is why Marco needs to not really do anything too stupid, because he could actually still be ahead.
And this actually, for One Move Esports, might get them second in the championship as well, because this is going to be another 4-5 points going their way. So
it'd be 24 points, 26 including the 2 finishing points,
which is not quite enough to jump ahead of ID Sim Sports. So unless they can find something miraculous, they will just be behind ID Sim Sport, who are still outside of the points.
Obviously, he still would get 2 points for finishing.
Is now exiting the first chicane on Mulsanne Strip.
But that is, I'm still curious as to how they lost it coming out of Tetra Rouge in that ID Sims, not the ID, sorry, the 33 DriveGameSeat racing car.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they just got the power a little bit too early, lost the back end.
Something must have happened there.
One out. And being on that pit limiter, again, so early on in the lap, it's the last place you want to be having.
It's a 15-minute or so drive back to the pit lane just on the limiter alone.
It makes you feel like you're at the Nürburgring.
On a normal lap.
Yeah, pretty much. And, well, he's now going to be kicking himself, is Marco, for just not driving that little bit slower.
Well,
and forcing Nick to come on the intercom and tell him to get on the pit limiter.
Yeah, well, what we're going to do is we're going to go take a short break whilst Marco Sanzi tries to make it back to the pit lane. We'll be back in a few minutes time for the final 1 hour and 30 minutes of the finale of the Endurance E-Racing World Championship.
The Endurance E-Racing World Championship Le Mans 24 Hours is brought to you by DSR eSports Network, Fleet Gaming, SimLab, Musto, Simplexity, Astick, and AMD Ryzen Radio.
Do you like games? Do you like esports? Do you hate watching laggy streams of tournaments on 13-inch screens?
Oh my God!
Of course you do. But you don't have to worry about that anymore.
He has a jump, son!
Simplexity is a Danish designer and manufacturer of high-grade sim racing platforms. Their 3 different levels of platforms come in a variety of colors and configurations. Choose from the V4, built from 40 by 40mm extruded aluminium profiles, the V8 built from 80 by 40mm profiles, and the high-tier V12 built from 160 by 40mm extruded aluminium profiles. Prices range from 470 to 750 euros. Go to facebook.com/simplexity.eu and start a messenger chat to inquire more about the options for colors and customization.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2020 GTR 24H Endurance E-Racing World Championship finale here from Le Mans Circuit Club. This son of a meme has yet to eat this morning. He hasn't eaten since he woke up at about like 8 in the morning or something, and it is now 10:36. He didn't eat much last night. Please go and eat. I will argue this with
racing.
you. I will argue this with you on stream until you go and eat.
Like, there's only 1.5 hours
I do not
remaining.
care. Go and eat. Meanwhile, Marco Sanzi is still not made it back.
This
to the
is
pit
just a
lane.
very rude way of Alex saying that he wants to commentate by himself.
No, this is me telling you to go and eat.
But I guarantee you, the moment I leave, something will happen, and then I'm going to be very
guarantee you
annoyed.
look on the timing sheet. Nothing is going
Exactly.
to happen.
That's what's going to make this whole thing even more annoying when something does happen.
Well, if it does, I will leave and you can commentate for a half hour.
I don't trust you.
Go and eat. There, you can't argue now.
Peter,
Actually,
did you just mute my mic?
And there has been a slow car report. It is the 337. Once again, that car stay is going from bad to worse.
I can't hear anything. Can you guys hear me through Alex's mic? Hi, guys. Can you please put in the chat hashtag GTR 24? Tell Peter to unmute me.
Go and eat, Yousuf, and you will be going to eat now. You have the whole production. You have the production team telling you to go and eat. Go and eat.
What am I going to eat?
Find food. There's plenty of food here. Even Nick is telling you to go and eat. Now go and do your. Listen to your boss. Go and eat.
Message Nick.
No. Off my Discord. Bugger you off. That I can get away with saying on international television. Anyway, welcome back to the GTR 24H. He's losing it. I can see him laughing in the back. And the bird has been flipped at me from behind the screens. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the final hour and a half of this race here at the Circuit de la Sarthe.
You know in F1 when you crash and you see the driver walking away with that.
Oh, Welcome back, of course, and we are currently waiting to see what will be the finishing results, because there are still some races to be summed up. Bin-Suhayl versus the 777 Nightmare, those two cars are still within a minute of each other, although we do feel the Bin-Suhayl does have a slight advantage at the moment, or will take that victory. There's no really anyone else that's relatively close, although the DGTL car is 22.5 seconds behind the Pierre B cars, the number 78. And they've been running laps consistently quicker, so by the end of this race, it could come down to the wire between that lot. Meanwhile, the 4th place LMP2 car, that's still Marco Senzel that is out of this race. He is in the garage. I believe they probably just... No, he is back. They are back in the race apparently, so I believe it's the case that they pulled the plug and got the car back in the race. Just been sent a picture of last year's GTR 24H. There's beautiful pictures. The 33 car will leave the pit lane, bring it back on circuit, and will actually be, where is the 11 car? That is the question. Now, is that car on wet tyres? Because we have seen one GT car not on tyres coming out of the pits, and the rear end looked very squirrely. We're about to find out. No, it's not, because that car is not turning in. So that is going to be a very risky situation. Hopefully, they're smart enough to take it slow enough so that the tyres that they do have on are gripping, unless it is just extremely cold, wet tyres, in which case... The understeer that I'm seeing from that car, though, does not look good indeed. Ah, the monkey has returned because he's brought himself 2 bananas. He's going to club me over the head with one in a minute for that comment. You didn't miss anything, so point proven. You haven't, actually. No, nothing has been missed.
So then how do you explain Bin-Suhayl eSports leading the race?
Because they've been leading the race for the entirety of the event since Seawolf Notice. I was going to say, I'm aware I'm about to see a massive crash because that car has not got wet tyres on it, and he's trying to brake, he's trying to turn the car. He's actually, fair play to the 33 car, they managed to get it stopped. So we're not about to see a massive crash, we're about to see a massive congratulations to those guys.
Why is Marco Slanzi on slick tyres?
Read on the server, and when you assign the setup, even if you assign wet tyres, the game will put you on slicks.
Okay, well that means the number
that is something that we have noticed for a while. It is something that has been noted, and it's
I'm also still muted.
You aren't actually.
Wait. Oh.
Peter did mute you at one point, but it was only because I muted you on this end. This is how we get you to do
I'm just getting
things.
betrayed by people I thought were my friends.
I mean, we already said that we were through with our commentator relationship. I'm with Ossian now, and you're with Ewan.
Ewan hasn't even accepted yet.
Well, we'll find out in the interviews later on. We'll open with the Ewan. Do you accept Yousuf's proposal? He's just peeling away that banana in front of me. I say in front, beside me. No, yes, we know that's what you enjoy, Yousuf, but there's no need to make it that obvious on a public stream. Meanwhile, yellow flags in the second sector, just trying to see who the slow car is. Yeah. Yousuf is casually trying not to choke as he's laughing.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
Well, everyone that's watching did hear it, and I hope you all enjoyed that.
Yeah, but they didn't see what was on camera, so they didn't get the reference.
Meanwhile, the 33 car is now potentially about to have a big accident because it's coming into the Porsche curves at high speed on slick tyres. That car actually gripped relatively well. I'm impressed.
Slick cars are underrated in the wet.
Yeah, that car is gripping up relatively well. It seems like it suddenly switched to wets.
Podium.
Maybe the car was just very cold tyres and it was just trying to throw the thing off balance. We'll find out if they come into the pits this time by...
Do you think our viewers are enjoying the ASMR of me eating a banana on the stream?
I have no idea, but the 33 car does pull into the pit lane, so that does signal they're on the wrong tyre set. Huh? Ah, okay. I thought I was...
I can hear myself, so I thought the stream would be able to. But clearly not. Nom 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 nom.
Meanwhile, the 33 car almost actually hitting the pit wall coming into the pit lane. Oh, Pro Sim also jumps up a spot as well. And so does Satellite. So, Pro Sim up to 6th place.
Does this give a position over to Mantis Rekkers, who's back at the wheel of the Team Rookie Monsters car as well
no.
here?
They will be out of the pits by the time Mantis makes it round.
Okay. Well, then Mantis Rekkers can hunt him down in the final hour and a bit of the 24 hours of Le Mans. Do we have anything else happening? Borgia Milan, 33 seconds clear of the Nightmare car, and pulling 5 seconds a lap as well. That's the Borgia Milan that we all know and love.
Oh, driver swap for the 33 as well. Out goes Senzel and in goes Apolloni. So the driver that started this race for that car and threw that car up to the front of the order very early on, or was sort of fighting up there very early on. Now in the car again. Be interesting to see where he ends up.
You know, I reckon if we had another 2 hours, Yone Simonchek would have closed in onto the number 17 Pinsim's car.
Potentially. And that is already a spin and almost being collected by the BMW, but thankfully no harm, no foul. He actually understeered very hard into the barrier.
Well, here's a replay.
Cold tyres, high fuel, and a new driver does not equal a positive outlook on things, it seems.
So what exactly happened? Well, the replay didn't quite show. Team Rookie Monsters 2 laps behind, and well, there has been disaster up ahead of them. Oh, yeah, as you mentioned, just understeered straight into the wall. Thankfully got on the brake and didn't roll into...
And that car is crabbing very, very hard indeed. Seems somewhat under control though. It's not like it's out of control, but you can tell that car has got suspension damage.
He won't have to get onto the pit limiter. That should be okay, but he definitely needs to get to the pits, and this might get Mantis Rekkers up 1 extra position just to keep that championship lead safe.
Be interesting to see. He is keeping it at a relatively stable pace, so he's not on the pit limiter, but he's not at a dangerous speed. He's keeping it clean. Meanwhile, that is Thomas Hinch trying to unlap himself from sorry, that is him trying to lap
the E-Brick car.
The E-Brick car, yes.
Oh, sorry, E-Team Brick car, I should say.
Team E-Brick, yeah.
So Yone Simonchek is into the pits.
That'll be his penultimate stop for the Burst Edge eSports car. Only 177 seconds
Actually,
off of...
I think he needs to do 2 more stops after this, because he's got over an hour, and you can only do 10 laps. 11 at most.
About 40-45 minutes. Yep, sorry, I forget 2 stops. My bad. Third to last stop then.
Yeah. The super penultimate stop, I believe, is the term, but I'm not entirely sure. Right, what else is going on then? Still is Martin Hemmingsen leading for the number 10 Pinsim's Drillers eSports car. Pinsim's Drillers doing well in LMP2. Well, of course they are. They're leading the race there as well. So Pinsim's Drillers leading in both Hypercar and the LMP2 car. Same though cannot be. Well, they're actually not in any of the
I say
other
they aren't
classes,
in
yeah.
any other class except for
I was getting them.
although I did see the 199 I'm hearing has had a big accident. Oh my God, that's a big accident. Is that a Monaco car?
No,
it's
ID
not.
Sim
Thank
Sport.
God, that is the ID Sim. No, there's another car in the background. I saw a GT McLaren go very hard, and that is the 46 DISSR lap car.
Well spotted there, Alex, and drama right to the last. And that is one of the
big shunt though. We saw switch to the ID Sim Sport car, and I saw this McLaren in the background. I look at the exit of Tetra Rouge and see a McLaren going hard into the wall at pretty much high, nearly full speed through there.
And looks like that car is damaged beyond repair right now. They might just have to reset, and that is exactly what they do. They pull the plug. And
what the hell happened there?
Oh, I wonder if they just tried to avoid the spinning ID Sim Sport car and just ended up losing the back end, running right into the wall. You see the rear wing on the circuit got clouted by a couple of other cars, including one of the other McLarens as well. So more drama coming through. Still got an hour and 10 to go for even more action here at the Le Mans circuit for round 4 of the Endurance E-Racing World Championships.
I, honest to God, thought that was Borja Milan for a minute, because all I could see was the side of a McLaren, and it looked, you know, the colour scheme just from that distance absolutely threw me.
Well, speaking of Borja Milan, he is leading the race by a comfortable margin as well right now, 37 seconds. And one who might want it to be a little bit more comfortable than that, well, I think he'll take it after the incidents that his team have had. Monaco, a great comeback drive, absolutely fantastic from all of the drivers. Borja Milan, of course, probably the quickest, but of course Ricardo Costa, Nico Barkley and Chris Shepherd as well.
I'm going to go back on the stream and actually look at that accident, because that was big. And actually, I'm going to actually try and see what actually exactly happened, if I can at all. That was huge of an accident.
Yeah, it really was.
What it did for me was bring back memories of 2013.
I just saw on your screen that the camera was up, and I thought for a second that everyone could see me eating this banana. DGTL last time round, 2 seconds quicker than PIB cars, and the gap is currently 40 seconds. So that battle's not over, and that is for P6 in the GTE class.
I have a feeling I know what's happened. I have a feeling that ID Sim Sport car has rejoined onto the circuit perpendicular and has basically forced that McLaren to swerve in avoiding action.
Calling a Lance Stroll, Sebastian Vettel monster.
Pretty much. Yeah, there's no other way I can describe that. That or he's hit him.
Well,
if he has, that's a disgrace for rejoin.
Either way,
you do not rejoin perpendicular to the track like that.
Well, if there is no report that comes up, then you have to assume that it was just an independent incident. Maybe the DIS driver got a little bit distracted. But if there's not an incident up, you'd have to assume that it's all fair game from ID Sim Sports side. I'm half expecting a ping to appear, an incident under investigation. It would be between 199 and 46.
Have an hour and 13 minutes left to go in this race here at the Circuit de la Sarthe de Le Mans. And it's an hour and 13 minutes left before our GTE and GT3 and LMP2 champions are crowned for the 2020 Endurance E-Racing World Championship.
Yeah, not long left at all, and you'll have Ewan O'Leary and Cameron Rogers taking you through the post-race show, the driver interviews and all that. So just keeping an eye on this gap between PIB cars and DGTL. It is now under 40 seconds, and it is dropping slowly, but whether it's dropping by enough is a different matter entirely. Just trying to see where is the, well, what would appear on my screen as 21 and 22. So DGTL have just made their way out of Arnage, and PIB cars are making their way into the Ford chicanes.
Apologies to those that can hear the discussions in the background on the stream. Make sure that we try and make sure that we speak so that the compressors and all the behind-the-scenes tech make sure that it doesn't get picked up.
Yeah, that's probably a good shout. And well, DGTL, they're still closing in, but they are still a way behind. We'll have to just wait and see. Okay, so what else is happening right now then? The GTE class, you've got a minute plus between your three race leaders. Well, first, second and third. David Greco leading the way and looking to secure that championship for Musto GD. Simply Race are nowhere in sight, to be honest. Oh, well, Matt Webb is in P4. So, Musto, they have to remain careful, because if they do make a mistake, well, sure, they are 5 laps up ahead of Matt Webb, but if they make a mistake, if they have an engine blowout, that can all change in the blink of an eye. And that would be their championship done and dusted. Borja Milan now with over a minute to Nightmare, because Nightmare have just dived on into the pits. And this, you would have to assume, is a final pit stop for the Nightmare team. Borja Milan will have one more stop as well, but in his stop he's going to be putting less fuel in his car. So Borja Milan has this both strategy-wise and position-wise and pace-wise, really. Been an excellent drive from Wanaka Racing. They were dominating the race, and then the incidents that occurred to them, they were able to recover absolutely fantastically. The ISSR lab, you got a feel for them. They were running in the lead after Wanaka had that incident. Even before that, they were still in second and looking like favourites to take second, along with, well, it was actually the number 94 of Musto. But since then, there have just been so many issues for them, and they've really dropped down the order. Speaking of Musto, they are down currently in P31 overall. And let's see if we can find them. They are in that orange and brown Mercedes. I'm pressing the button and I'm scrolling through until I get to the car. There we go. That took a while. But there's Fabio Liuzzi, who is gaining 8 seconds a lap onto the Teleferringen car. And it's just under 2 minutes separating the pair of them. Just realized I could hijack Alex's computer while he's gone. Do I want to? Anyway, the number 33 car of DriveGameSeat RT is into the pits. And that is a certain Alessandro Apolloni. He finds himself not too far ahead of Mantis Records, just over a lap. And if there is any more mistakes, I'm sure Mantis Wreckers will be pouncing on that opportunity to move one further position up in the LMP2 class. ID SimSport are, well, to be honest, ID SimSport right now are 20 laps behind Mantis. So, to be honest, even if Mantis like crashes out right now, I think he still holds on to the position over ID SimSport. So I almost want to say congratulations Mantis Wreckers and Team Rookie Monsters for winning the GT3, the LMP2 championship, because ID SimSports are too far back. As taking a look at Ibrahim Khan, and Viaductin have dived into the pits. Ibrahim Khan 44 seconds behind, but of course Ibrahim Khan also has a stop of his own to make. But less than a minute separating the pair of them, so this will make things, I guess, fairly close in the final hour. And the Nightmare team have made their pit stop there, what we assume to be their final pit stop of the race, because there is just over 1 hour remaining. Viaductin will come out of the pits, and Ibrahim Khan won't be too far behind. And that gap will be about 5 seconds as Ibrahim Khan crosses the line and does a 3:40.6, the fastest of any of the hypercars at the moment. So 4.6 seconds separating Viaductin and Ibrahim Khan, but I am fairly certain Ibrahim Khan still needs to make another pit stop. By the way, we could still see a good old battle for what will temporarily be P2. But I think on that note, we're going to be heading into a short commercial break, and when we're back, we'll be bringing you this battle between Team Viaductin and Ibrahim Khan. So don't go anywhere. We are almost done with the 24 hours of Le Mans, and you don't want to miss the final hour.